All right, welcome back to the Totally Average Gamers podcast. I'm Cabrins30 here with I Frostbite and Flat AB Cincinnatus up there.
I am super I promise to be super animated tonight, and by that I mean not animated. I am a still.
And there goes his audio. AB Cincinnatus' audio might just be a little bit patchy tonight, so he is away from his usual setup due to some unforeseen circumstances. So we get to stare at his picture for the entire podcast. It's not that bad though. But yeah, it's an exciting time, everybody. We're getting ready for an exciting summer. E3 is just a little bit away, just over a week away. We're going to get to that in just a little bit and talk all about what's coming up. But, let's just kind of hang out for a little bit, just kind of catch up on the past few weeks. Frostbite, what's been going on with you? What have you been playing?
Well, you mean aside from losing a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time randomizer race?
That was a good race.
Yeah, man, it was just like, could not make any progress for so long. It was like, go over here, there's like 1 or 2 checks. Go over there, there's 1 or 2 checks. Oh, a blue rupee and a healing part. Wow, thanks. Anyway, yeah, it was kind of a rough seed, but it was fun. I feel like maybe I should practice it a little bit, and then one day maybe we could do a rematch. I don't know. We'll see. But
absolutely.
Other than that, I've been getting back into started playing WoW Classic again with my girlfriend because released uh, they just released the Burning Crusade Classic, which is, if you don't know,
Right.
yeah, it's the first major expansion for World of Warcraft. And in my opinion, and I think this is not that unpopular an opinion, that's really like the golden age of World of Warcraft. So it's pretty cool. What's not pretty cool though is what Blizzard's doing with basically they're offering you can buy a character boost, so you can boost if like let's say you didn't play Vanilla Classic, or maybe you played a bit, but now Burning Crusade's coming out and you're like, yeah, I really want to jump into it, or maybe you're even trying to join some friends who are already like max level and you just want to catch up to them. So you can buy a character boost, but it only comes in this like pack that they're selling. Basically, it comes with like some other in-game items and stuff. Um, and it costs $55 Canadian
My God, leave it to
plus tax.
Blizzard to find a way to gouge everybody off of the same game they released 15 years ago.
So not only are you paying,
Of course, they managed to do that.
yeah, so not only are you paying $18 a month just to play the game, now they want you to pay another $55 for this character boost, which is just basically it's like 3 months of game time, more than three. Well, yeah, I guess about 3 months of game time, which is just completely ridiculous in my opinion. But anyway, so we've just been leveling up the old-fashioned way for now, but still pretty fun. And then of course, still grinding through Monster Hunter Rise as well, making my way up the ranks.
Of course.
What about you? What have you been up to?
It's not much, honestly, because I think I mentioned this last time. I'm getting ready to move, and as we all know, when life gets in the way, the gaming time goes down, which is disappointing. I was playing Pokemon Snap, but I kind of stopped for a little while. I picked up Portal just because it's been 5 years since I played it last, so played Portal in 2 hours. Less, it's all it takes. I was just I had a couple hours this week and want something I can do in one sitting.
Cool.
Yeah, that's honestly it. And I guess winning Ocarina of Time randomizer races. That's what I do best. But yeah, honestly, beyond that, it's been hard to find time to play. It's upsetting. ABC, if you're there, what have you been up to?
All right, so bear with me in case my audio suddenly cuts out on me. So in the last week, I have not touched a single video game outside of Fire Emblem Heroes on my phone because I am away from my home, so I don't have access to them. But before that, I played through a handful of games on Steam. I was like, I'll just knock out games that are listed online as like 3 hours or shorter. So I finished Kara Blaster, which is a action platformer by the guy who did Cave Story. I played a game called Emily is Away 2, which is a sort of like a visual novel, short visual novel. I got one of the endings in that. I completed a game called Hidden Folks, which is like a Where's Waldo-esque game. I finished one of the endings to Orwell, Keeping an Eye on You, which is another visual novel-like game about a surveillance system, a government surveillance system. And I finished one of the endings to Passepartout, the Starving Artist, which is a game about drawing art in the streets of Paris and working your way up from being a starving artist to potentially something greater.
You haven't been busy at all. I mean, before you were displaced.
But right, was so that was all in the week prior to last Thursday, where I was like, I had a feeling that I was not going to get a lot of game time in this week, and that was under the impression that I was going to be at home. So notably, this last week means that I haven't played Animal Crossing for the first time in like on a daily basis
You didn't even bring your
since
Switch?
Yeah, you
since
do
the-
realize it's a
I-
portable console, right?
Okay, so I left the Switch at home. Long story short, my fiance's at my apartment quarantining, or at our apartment quarantining, after returning from the U.S. So she's stuck quarantined for 2 weeks. I wasn't allowed to be there, so I left her the Switch because she was in the middle of a Skyrim run, and so I left that for her.
That's fair.
I can go 2 weeks without playing Animal Crossing. It'll be fine.
I mean, that's fair. It's not like you could play Skyrim on any other platform anyway.
Well, that's where her save file was. She had put like 20 hours into this file.
I think with Skyrim, those are what we consider to be rookie numbers.
No, they're totally rookie numbers, but that was like she was far enough in it that I didn't feel comfortable taking the Switch away from her.
So did she decide to be like, try to do two-handed this time around, and then ended up being a sneaky archer?
No, she's actually avoided being. She has like 0 archery skills. It's really interesting.
I don't believe that. Everyone becomes a sneaky archer.
She's doing the entire thing is magic. No melee weapons, no archery.
I totally tried to do a magic run of Skyrim once and then became a sneaky archer.
Yeah, she has not.
It's just how it goes.
I kept telling her to be a sneaky archer, and she decided not to be. So
you don't tell people to do it; it just happens. It's a
well,
way
she
of
hasn't
life.
gotten there yet. She 100% is Skyrim long ago. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
As a
she
sneaky
has done
archer?
everything in that game before.
Intoxicated just hates stealth in games. Depends on the game, but it depends on the game. But in Skyrim, it's just you just have to accept stealth into your way of life. It just happens. Crazy. Yeah, I think this is the first week ABC's played less than some of the rest of us.
Actually,
Wait, had I mentioned that I had finished Dragon Quest 7? Because I finished Dragon Quest 7.
You might have mentioned it at
I might have mentioned it in a
Yeah.
previous podcast.
yeah, I think so.
Because Dragon Quest 8 should be arriving at my apartment in like the next day or so for me to jump on the next one.
Cool.
So, before we kind of get into this whole this news blitz we're about to enter in, we're already almost in the midst. Like, we're already in the midst of it. We've been getting a lot of news in the past couple weeks already. It's starting to trickle out. So last week, past 10 days or so, we've had Sonic 30th anniversary presentation. We've had the Dragon Quest. Is it 25 or 30?
35.
35
Yeah.
Anniversary presentation. What did I miss? There's 2 others, right? We had 2 other shows already.
Monster Hunter
And a
that's
state
right.
of play.
And the state of
play for Horizon.
which was all Horizon. Yeah.
So let's actually start there because that's the easy one.
Yeah.
Sony showcased Horizon Forbidden West in their state of play. Actually, first they showed off landscapes for like 6 hours before they actually.
It was 5 hours of landscapes.
I didn't see that part, but I heard about it.
It was so funny. They announced that the stream was going live at like noon, and the state of play was scheduled for 5. And
Yeah.
people were like, "What are you going to be doing there during that whole time?" And it was like in-game drone footage.
Yeah, it was basically just like the camera moving through the environment, and on it was pretty, but I didn't need to have a Twitch stream open.
No,
for it.
I mean, like, it was literally in-game drone footage. It's the footage was like had a HUD on it that looked like it was a surveillance system.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
interesting.
was kind of neat. As far as the game looks, it looks like Horizon. I mean, what else to say? It looks pretty.
Well, it looks very good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
having recently played Horizon Zero Dawn a little bit, I immediately noticed like, wow, the game looks a lot better.
Way better.
Which
Yeah.
is
looks really
funny
good.
because the internet decided to collectively freak out about Aloy's appearance, which I thought was very, very unfortunate because I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm hoping that we see a lot more of that in the next few months. Sony has still promised us that Horizon Forbidden West will be releasing for both PS4 and PS5 this calendar year. So my guess it's going to probably drop around Christmas. That's my best guess there. but I'm excited for that one. But like I said, there's not much to say about that. It looks like Horizon.
I'll say one thing, which is that as somebody who fully completed the first game and didn't love it, this game shows a lot of promise because it looks like it's evolved with all of the ways that open world uh, exploration action games have since the original one came out.
Yeah, so I didn't play much of the original, but a couple of things that I noted, and I don't know if these are upgrades or not, but a couple of things I noted are like they added basically vehicles for getting around faster. I think that's a new thing,
They were
which is kind
in the first
cool.
one. You can ride the what do you call them? The machines.
of okay.
You can ride some of the machines,
Yeah.
yeah. Not
Okay, so that's
and like
not
they've
entirely new.
no, it's a fairly late game ability in the first game though.
No, it's not. I got it after like 7 hours of playing the game. You can ride it.
But you get to corrupting some of the more real fast travel
No,
monsters
that's
are
fair.
much later in the game.
But you do basically get the equivalent of a horse like 7 hours into the game.
Oh yeah, but like you get the equivalent of like a motorcycle much later into the game by the things you're able to corrupt. So yeah, the game looks faster in some regards.
Yeah. Well, I also noticed that they added the hang glider, which was like made me think Breath of the Wild, of course.
Oh, I think they thought Breath of the Wild when
Yeah.
they built that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also saw a grappling hook, which I think reminded me of like Arkham Asylum.
A little bit. Always reminds me of a hook shot, honestly. So
a little bit. But both of those things are like, I feel like some of the game design that game showed off really shows like, okay, maybe it's got a little bit of Spider-Man in it or a little bit of Breath of the Wild in it, and in both of those cases, that's like it doesn't feel like every other platformer or exploration platformer from 2015,
right,
which is it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that one there. Moving on. Let's talk Sonic. Let's talk Sonic the Hedgehog. Gotta go fast. What do you say about Sonic? I mean, Sonic. How much has Sonic really changed in his 30 years? You know, I've said it on this podcast before. I make no, I make no effort to hide the fact that I think Sonic has not adapted well past the Sega Genesis, which makes Sonic Origins kind of nice. Not that we haven't had those titles released a million times already, but it's a nice collection to kind of
do you want to specify what Sonic Origins
yeah,
is?
for sure. So Sonic Origins, they're repackaging Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles.
Again.
Right.
And some of those games appear to have gotten the widescreen treatment, but not all of them.
Right. Exactly. And, we'll have to see. They didn't really show much except a trailer. We don't even have a release date on it, which is really suspect to me because it's Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles that are available on like 7 other platforms. So I don't know why.
3 is not available on a lot of platforms.
No, but my point is it is available on some. It's not like they have to rebuild the game. So I'm wondering if there's there's going to be some other stuff packaged in there that they haven't revealed yet. We'll see what happens with that.
And CD is also in.
Oh yeah, CD. I forgot about CD because CD kind of sucks. But it's the nice thing about it is maybe having them on Switch because the first those first few Sonic games are really good, and if I'm gonna buy it, it's gonna be on Nintendo Switch. As far as the other remaster that they're pushing out, Sonic Colors, I've been told it's one of the better 3D Sonic games, but in my opinion, good 3D Sonic games are still crap.
So I'll come to this game's defense because I don't like 3D Sonic. So it should say something about that. Sonic Colors on the Wii featured a lot of side-scrolling platforming that felt almost like a precursor to Mania in some regards, but all of the actual 3D platforming has that gameplay of like it feels like you're on a roller coaster almost. The ground moves up and down naturally in slopes. You build up momentum the way that you would in a side-scrolling Sonic game. There aren't a lot of obstacles in the way, which I think is a thing that isn't present in a lot of other 3D Sonic games. There's really not a whole lot in your way in Sonic Colors. It's all about building up speed and having fun with the environment. Whereas like something like Sonic Unleashed has a lot of situations where if you boost too fast and you're not moving in the right way, you run in straight forward into walls.
Like Sonic Unleashed is
That's
also
not a thing. That's not a thing in Sonic Colors.
Sonic Unleashed is also the one where they decided that we really need Sonic to become a werewolf, except he's a werehog, which also doesn't make a lot of sense because he's still a wolf, but now he's
Sonic Colors also decides to forego the story for a long time, and like when you start up the game, you press start and you go. You don't have to deal with any cutscenes or anything for like 3 or 4 stages.
I think the way I should put it is not that people can't enjoy it, is that every time someone said, hey, this one is actually pretty good, you should check it out. That's what happened with Sonic 06, Sonic Generations. You know, they always told me, try it.
Someone said that to someone tried to tell you about Sonic 06?
Yeah, like a decade ago. I do not forgive them for that. But pretty much every time someone says, this one's better than the others, they're not. They're all... the Sonic formula just doesn't translate very well to 3D, which is why Sonic Mania is so good. Plus, the fans who are obsessed with Sonic designed it. So, but yeah, what else was in that Sonic?
They had some pretty weird random tie-ins with like 2-Point Hospital, and you can play Sonic Fighters inside Lost Judgment.
The 2-Point Hospital thing had me actually falling off my chair laughing.
It's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, that and the Sonic doing Olympic activities, between the two of those things, I was laughing my ass off. Effectively, for those of you who didn't watch it, it's 2-Point Hospital, but with people in like giant Sonic costumes, but like not even well constructed Sonic costumes. So it's they got like cardboard on their arms to make it the right color, and like their legs don't look like they're attached right, and the eyes are a little droopy, and the whole thing is just like they're playing into their own bit, right? Like they're in on the joke.
Yeah, well, exactly.
That's Sonic fandom in a nutshell right there.
At least they're self-aware about that.
I mean, the other fun thing in that was they did tease a new Sonic game, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be crap. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really think Sonic has done very well. I think Mario made the jump to 3D really well, and Sonic did not.
Well, okay, and they also showed off the animated feature, the cartoon, one of the two. I think they might have shown off both.
But interestingly, they did not show a trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The movie. I really expected them to do that, especially because the plot had apparently leaked out via some like copyright registration. So yeah, that was.
I just like I actually laughed. I chuckled a bit when they did that teaser for a 2022 Sonic game, because they didn't show anything. It's just like
Sonic,
a CG shot of Sonic running through the grass, and then they should just show like 2022 or something like that. I actually chuckled because I was like, okay, like, is that supposed to get me hyped? Like, what is this? This is gonna be another crappy Sonic game.
Especially because Sonic running through the grass can describe any Sonic game.
Yeah, exactly.
3D or 2D. All right,
pretty much.
So, you know, Sonic not as... I'd say Horizon was more fun to watch than Sonic, but let's move on. Raspa, you want to talk Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually watched the Monster Hunter stuff or not.
I watched bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, this one was a bit different because it was like half of it's focused on Monster Hunter Rise, which is a game that's already out. They're just showing... they showed the new update, which they dropped later that night, which was really sweet because they're like, all right, here's the new content we're releasing. New ending for the story, some new monsters, some new variations of existing monsters, new DLC pack with like cosmetics and stuff. So the kind of stuff that we've come to expect from these updates, which like Capcom's been really amazing about releasing these free updates for Monster Hunter games. Like they started doing it with World. Um, well, even before that, they would add new quests to the game for free and stuff. But anyway, yeah. So they detailed the update, and then they also detailed what sort of a little bit tease what to expect for future updates for the rest of the year. Um, some Capcom, they're apparently going to be doing some kind of collaboration with other Capcom games, which is not a new thing for Monster Hunter, where you might get like a Street Fighter character outfit or like something like that. I don't know, but yeah. And then they talked about Monster Hunter Stories 2, which looks it's looking pretty cool. I mean, I didn't play the first one. It was only on 3D. It's on 3DS and it's also on mobile. You can play it on your Android. Um, but I don't know. I'm just like kind of lukewarm on it, and it didn't really bother checking it out. But the second one's looking pretty cool, actually. If you're a fan of the monster collecting and training RPG genre,
So
then
ABC.
then it might
Maybe
be
me. Yeah.
might be worth checking out. Basically, it's like the sort of synopsis of these games is instead of being hunters, you're riders. So you get monster eggs, and then when they hatch, you train the monsters and you ride them into battle and you fight alongside them. Um, and in this game, there's this crazy like monster DNA splicing system where you can give one monster properties from another monster, so you can create some really unique teams in that way, which it looks kind of interesting. But
It's an
yeah, it's
interesting
shaping up
concept.
to look pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool. And
Cool
that,
stuff.
that brings us to Dragon Quest. And if ABC's audio is going to work, I'll let him take the lead on this because I think ABC is the Dragon Quest expert of our group.
I'd say of the three of
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
would say of the three of us, I'm the Dragon Quest guy.
I have my own thoughts.
Let me know
on
if you
that
can
as
hear me.
well.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, you can hear me so far?
Yep.
Cool. So I guess this is Dragon Quest has had 11 entries in the main franchise, along with a bunch of other side games. The 10th entry was an MMO that was Japan only. A good third of that presentation was spent presenting Dragon Quest X editions for the Japan, and then an offline single player version of that game that was not presented with any English version in sight. They showed off a mobile game, a spin-off game featuring characters from 11, and a title card for 12, and nothing else. So and almost none. Oh, and a remake of 3 using the Octopath Traveler engine.
Which, by the way,
so
looks beautiful, and it's the most.
It looks
I'm hyped
beautiful,
most
and
for.
3 is the best-selling game in the franchise. But like they advertised this presentation to the wedding. It was going to be completely translated, and they're going to have subtitles and translators. And the translator, first of all, was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Which is not the
that was
translator's fault.
obvious.
They should have they should have had 2 translators. They only had 1. It sucked. It wasn't their fault. It was absolutely Square Enix's fault. But the whole thing was a real kick in the groin, because for people who watched from North America, you got probably the promise of a Dragon Quest III remake with no date attached to it and no platforms attached to it. You got Dragon Quest 12 with no platforms attached to it. You got a mobile game that you almost certainly don't care about because it's a match 3 mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Well, you got Dragon Quest Treasure, which is a spin-off and probably won't do well in North America. The big hope was that for this anniversary they were going to finally localize Dragon Quest X. And that game, like, they removed the region lock to that game a few years ago, so you can play it in North America. You still have to pay in Japanese yen for the monthly fees, but you can play anywhere in the world as long as you speak Japanese. So people were like, "Oh, they're finally going to translate it." And then after they didn't say that that game was coming stateside, they showed off the single player version of that game where they're taking the story and turning it into a standard Dragon Quest game. And people were like, "Oh, this we're getting the game," and then nothing in terms of localization.
That's the weirdest thing to
And
me.
so like fans just are heartbroken over that. They're like, we thought we were finally going to get this game in some way, shape, or form, and it doesn't seem like it's ever coming here. And like meanwhile, Yuji Horii, the director of Dragon Quest, was like, yeah, and if Dragon Quest 3 2D HD remake sells well, we'll remake 1 and 2. And it's like, I don't care what your future plans are for old games. Release the game that we haven't gotten here.
Yeah,
Like,
not only that, 2, and 3 have been remade before.
yeah,
Like
twice.
right from twice, and they've also been re-released on Switch recently. So it's not like people haven't been able to play 1, 2, and 3. 10, as you've said, is the one that nobody can play, and they still can't.
Yeah, and you know what? The whole thing really hurt because it was a Japanese event, and for those of us on the East Coast, or in the Eastern Time Zone, the presentation started at 11:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Cabrins and I were texting about it, and it was like just after midnight. I was like, "Yeah, this is not a. This is gonna be a bad footnote in our in our next podcast."
Yeah.
A bit disappointing.
It it really just kind of felt like um they don't care much about their non-Japanese audience, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think that that's I don't know. That I think that there are some Japanese developers that it just kind of feels like they're just making games for Japanese players. And if that's what all they want to do, that's fine. But then I think it kind of creates this cycle of like, oh well, we're just creating games for Japanese players because non-Japanese gamers don't care about our games, but they don't care about your games because you don't care about them. So it's kind of this vicious cycle. You know what I mean?
So I will say, Dragon Quest has never sold amazingly here, except for maybe 11.
That's just it.
And
11 was hyped, and they
right,
should be building off that hype.
Yeah.
But I guess part of the thing is like Dragon is the or one of the few like traditional JRPG franchises that still exists that hasn't deviated to like action combat, or it is still menu based, excuse me, turn based combat, and it has been almost like the exact same battle system for 35 years, which, love it or hate it, at least it's consistent and you know what you're getting from those games. So
But didn't we hear
when
that Dragon Quest 12 was going to break that precedent?
12, they said 12 is going to change something with the system. They didn't say what. And I will say that 8 drastically changed the battle system in one way, but we'll talk about that another time. It's not worth focusing on here.
All right.
I just wanted to add like that for me, as a not somebody who's not that invested in Dragon Quest and doesn't really know the series that well, that presentation was a total mess. Like it was okay. The they had segments where it was two guys chatting in a room live with a live translator. They were speaking Japanese. It's being live translated, which, as ABC mentioned, I'm not shitting on the translator. They were doing the best they could. But the conversational style, it was like so just like so casual and jokey that it was like really hard for that to come across when you're live translating. And then they went from, and then by the way, there are no subtitles during this section, so it's an English translator talking over two Japanese guys, and then they transition to a game trailer, game trailers that are 100% Japanese, uh, no dubbing, no subtitles, Japanese text on the screen, and then they would go to a developer interview that's Japanese audio only with English subtitles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing was a mess.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think it's just it was such a miscalculation by Square Enix because they hyped up this presentation and like we're very clear, if you're a Western audience fan, you should come watch this. We're going to be presenting in a way that you're
Yeah.
able to take it in. And you know what it kind of
That was
reminds me of,
really not the
especially with
case.
the translator issue, is the original Nintendo Switch presentation where Suda51 got up on stage to talk about no more heroes, and he broke whatever the script he was supposed to be reading from,
Yeah.
and the
Oh yeah,
translator just had such a hard like, and
yeah,
everyone understood that time. It's like it's not the translator's fault. He's
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
in like non-standard Japanese, and it was very much the same deal.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad that you explained that whole thing with Dragon Quest, same thing, Dragon Quest 10 online versus offline. Because when I was watching the video, when they showed the trailer for 10 offline, and then they started talking about it, and I was so confused. I was like, "What is this game? What are they talking about?" And I actually sent K Burns the clip. I don't know if we have a way to play it over on the podcast, because
We're gonna try. I can't
it
promise
just
it's gonna work.
it just illustrates how tough of a time the translator was having, and just how confusing it was. Yeah, just if you can, just it's amazing.
Yeah, apologies for the overlay. It didn't quite do what I wanted it to do.
Yeah, I, I think the best way to describe it is like
Here.
the original 10 is a game that could be
Wait,
played
wait, wait.
single player if you
ABC,
want
hang
to.
on.
I'm not getting any sound from it.
We're not getting a sound? Okay, hang on. This wouldn't be great without technical difficulties. Hang on. It's because I hear it. So.
If we can't get it to play, that's fine. I just like
Hang on. Hang on. I'm gonna start it over in a second.
Okay.
All right, let's try again.
So that was
It's here now.
Dragon Quest
Yeah.
10
Yes, the problem is before I
offline.
was able to hear, but you couldn't.
Wait-san, it's not an online. It's a release with off.
Well, of course.
And we're buffering.
Thanks, YouTube. Oh, that I can't do much about, unfortunately.
Okay, well, whatever.
Offline with 10. It was online, so there's people who haven't done properly the online. And when I think about that, so
All right. Well, Frostbite, if you want to
we're
just give us...
buffering again.
So Frostbite, why don't you describe what was going on, and then I'll explain the concept of
It's
this game.
basically just like they come back from this trailer where, again, the trailer is all Japanese. I have no idea what this game even is, except that it's obviously a Dragon Quest game. And then they start talking, and it sounds like, okay, so it's online, but it's offline. So people who played online and now they can play offline, and so is it offline but it's not on, and it's like, oh my god, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, I watched it before earlier tonight when you sent it to Frostbite, and it really is truly a mess. If you don't know what Dragon Quest X is, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess the best way to describe it is like some MMOs have a cohesive story quest line, right? Not all of them obviously, but many do. With like an obvious chain of events that follows one another that you can follow through like a standard RPG.
Mhm.
And Dragon Quest X is a game that if you wanted to, you can play completely on your own with like computer party members to go on raids and complete missions and things like that, and complete the story on your own. However, you have to be connected to the online servers to do it.
And you have to buy a
So
subscription.
even if you're not playing with friends, you still have to be on, and you have to buy a subscription. So Dragon Quest X offline is we've taken the story and transformed it into a standard like plays like, and that's Dragon Quest X offline. It's the same story with similar mechanics, but plays like an offline MMO, I guess.
That whole thing sounds really
it-
weird to me.
Yeah,
It
well,
is.
I mean, yeah. Well, it's like, you know how some people, it's probably like Star Online, but not online.
You might have to
Sorry,
repeat that.
you cut out a bit. Were you saying some
Oh,
people play Phantasy Star Online?
I was going to say, like, Phantasy Star Online was made so you could play it offline as well. You could play
Right.
through the game offline. It's the same concept as that, I guess, except that they've taken the story of Dragon Quest X and the characters and everything and given that its own standalone offline version that looks nothing like the online
Yeah.
equivalent.
Yeah.
Well, regardless,
Very weird.
I think we can, say out of all 4 presentations, Dragon Quest is probably our least favorite, just because it was not. we were not the target audience.
I was, well, and that's the worst part, is I should have been the target audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I came away from that presentation really upset.
Well, with any luck, there's going to be lots coming up in the next couple months that you won't be so upset about. So, I mentioned right when we started, E3 is just over a week away. I think E3 officially kicks off on June, I want to say the 12th, but I could be mixing up the dates a little bit. Everything's a little bit weird.
It's 12th.
Yeah, everything's just a little bit wonky because of the pandemic. It's all digital. Every event that you're going to see this summer is all digital, which is great because that means I can finally go to E3, I guess. And, following that, we have Summer GameFest, and, lots of other publishers, game companies. They're going to be showcasing their own stuff on the side as well. So, we should all get strapped in, get comfy, because we got lots coming up, and we thought, that you guys out there, you need the Totally Average Gamer's take on everything that's going to happen before it happens. So, we're going to talk about different publishers, different presentations that we know are happening, and we'll give you some of our predictions, our hopes, our hope nots, I guess.
Yeah.
This is not comprehensive. We're going to be releasing a bingo card for the summer in the next little while. Please come back and join us for E3 starting next week as well. We'll be trying to be live with some of that stuff as well. But this is our pre-E3 show.
Summer Game Fest starts on the 10th. Just so we're clear.
June.
Yes, there.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of world premieres on the 10th.
Basically, it's just a summer of gaming. So let's talk about the different publishers. I think we're all Nintendo fans here. Nintendo dropped the date of their Direct today. It's gonna be on June 15th, followed by Nintendo Treehouse Live, which is always fun stuff to do. So I think that's the best place to start. And I think we really have to start with, before we ever see a Direct, are we gonna see the Switch Pro? Because the rumors in the past couple days, not weeks, days, have been insane. From what I have never seen this many rumors for a game console in my life.
It's yeah, you're right. It seems like signs are pretty heavily pointing to the Pro announcement on Thursday. So it seems like that's probably what we're gonna get. At least that's
which is tomorrow, by the way.
Yes, and
for those of you watching it at a later point in time, it is tomorrow that the rumors all point to.
And it's interesting because people would say, why wouldn't they just do this at their Direct? But Nintendo Directs have not ever really been hardware related. They've always dropped hardware differently, especially since they started this digital E3 format. Nintendo's been doing these recorded Directs for quite a while for E3. They haven't had a live showcase in a long time. And it's not, the Switch was revealed in January, right? Or it was originally revealed in November and then really showcased in January, right? Like, we don't really see a lot of hardware revisions. I think the new Nintendo 3DS was just like kind of casually slipped in somewhere. So Switch Pro, I can easily see them like dropping that announcement tomorrow. Pre-orders dropping up. Nobody can get the pre-orders in because nobody can get pre-orders for anything. And I'll try because my Switch has a big crack on it, and I'd love to upgrade my Switch.
Apparently, both Amazon and Best Buy have put up and taken down listings for the device. And actually, I'm looking at a picture of it now. The Best Buy one actually has a SKU number for and a UPC number for this thing. So
yeah, all like we've said, all all signs seem to point to yes on this one. Well, I guess we're gonna find out within the next couple days, but that leaves us with a Nintendo Direct on the 15th.
Well, hold on. Let's talk a bit more about this hardware thing. Like, what do you guys think we're gonna get? What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be like a true successor? Like this is the next Nintendo console, or is it gonna be like a slight update like we got with 3DS?
This console, in my prediction, is gonna be called the new Nintendo Switch, because it's going to be like the new 3DS upgrade of it. It's going to be a very slightly larger screen, and a little bit sleeker, in my opinion. OLED is the rumor I've heard, and it's going to be able to docked output 4K.
That model, by the way, isn't the new 3DS model. It's the Game Boy Color model.
Sure.
Right. A slightly better specs all around.
No, but I meant the name. I meant the name. The name is the new Nintendo Switch.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, OLED screen, and like I said, it's going to output 4K. It's not going to be powerful to to the level of the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. No way. It doesn't need to be. Just a little bit more, so that third parties are going to be a little bit more attracted to it. Although they've been keeping them, I guess, attracted to it. It's gonna probably sell for $3.99 American, which means $4.99 here. Maybe we'll get a little cheaper. Nintendo sometimes runs on the cheaper side, but I don't think it's going to be mind-blowingly different. I think that you're going to see something similar to what you saw with the new 3DS, which is right at first there's nothing here that looks great, but over the course of the next few years, there's going to be software that's going to be exclusive to it.
So
right. Or it'll run existing software better, or it'll run it with an additional feature to, because things like Majora's Mask 3D, for example, had the ability to tear around corners using the second stick, or some games like physically ran better.
Yeah, it's gonna have a better processor. It's gonna have a better GPU. It's gonna be a nice hardware upgrade. I mean, the Switch is 4 years old. It's time, but I don't believe it's going to be a true successor. I don't think Nintendo needs to do that right now.
So, I mean, everyone's talking about 4K. I think, like, there's no way they're going to put a 4K GPU, 4K capable GPU inside a handheld device like the Nintendo Switch. That's just, like, right now the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are barely giving us 4K. Like, let's be honest.
Well, so what they need is an upscaler. They have the system output some multiple of 240p, which 720 is one, 940 is one, and then they can upscale from there to 4K with just a simple integer scale.
And it's only going to be docked. It will not.
No, they're not going to integer scale it. That's going to look pixelated. It would have to be some kind of AI based, like DLSS, like Intoxication is mentioning in the comments, like deep learning, super sampling. It's basically, it's got to be part of the dock, is what I'm thinking, right? The dock is going to do some kind of AI based super sampling or upscaling of the signal. That I think makes sense.
Yeah,
I could see them doing that, but that probably means that. Do you think that means that the new Switch, the Switch Pro, whatever they're calling it, is not going to be compatible with the original Switch dock? Or
I think it will be. But to take advantage of the full new features, you'll have to use the dock that they're going to put in the box, and then you'll be able to buy separately as well.
So even better question then: will the new dock, if they do release a dock with super sampling, will that be compatible with the old model Switch?
I'm going to disagree with Cabron here. I think that the new system wouldn't be compatible with an old dock, but the old system would be compatible with a new dock with like an adapter. Because I would imagine that if a new system comes out, it may be slightly chunkier to have a larger battery, or because you're going to need a larger battery to support a more powerful system for roughly the same amount of time.
That's not entirely accurate, because they upgrade the Switch battery already, so you can now have a new one with that battery and have less battery time. And Nintendo doesn't care about that. I'm just saying, to keep it sleek, they might have a larger battery.
They changed something else about the system that actually reduced its power usage. It wasn't a straight up battery increase.
Regardless, I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo sacrificed battery life on this one.
I don't know.
So, we're gonna find out. I'm hoping in the next couple days. I could be wrong, but like I said, that leaves us with a direct on the 15th that is going to be entirely software focused. And if you believe what they've said about the direct announcement today, it's going to be mostly titles coming in 2021. So now you got to ask yourself, with the exception of a Smash Bros announcement, which that's my prediction. That's a gimme. Like, that's your free space on a bingo card. We're gonna have, there's going to be Smash Fighter Pack 2 number character 5, right?
I think they're gonna announce. I think they were gonna announce both the last two characters.
You think both of them?
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Well, it'll be announced to one launches that day, one launches in 4 months.
Well, it actually might be similar to when they did Hero and Banjo. They were announced on the same presentation, and then one launched about 2 months later, and the other one launched 4 months later, or something like that. So could get something.
Yeah, something like that.
But that's the gimme. Smash is, we know that's coming.
Any predictions for which characters they're gonna be?
It's hard to speculate, but I've been predicting for a while we're gonna see Crash Bandicoot, and now we have Crash 4 coming to Switch. I think it's gonna coincide. But just because he kind of works, kind of makes sense. You have every other goofy cartoon former system mascot there already. Why not give us Crash? Yeah. But it's hard to speculate. Every time I've speculated about what Mr. Sakurai is going to do, I've been wrong, so I've kind of given up.
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
I think the better question is,
I've heard guesses for that.
There's a lot of Nintendo anniversaries this year. Are we going to see some of those franchises coming in for a title before the end of 2021? Are we going to see Breath of the Wild 2? We know Skyward Sword is coming in July. I don't think that we need to talk much about that. But Breath of the Wild 2 is still somewhere out there.
I think we'll see that game.
We have Metroid Prime 4, which has been announced.
I don't think we'll see that game.
It's a Metroid anniversary too. It's also a Kid Icarus anniversary, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong with that one, actually.
I think so.
I'm predicting Breath of the Wild sequel gameplay not releasing this year.
I'm predicting a trailer and no gameplay.
I think we'll see. I do not think we'll see Metroid Prime 4. And I think we will see a Zelda collection of some kind, which I know is a pretty safe prediction. I think that's been rumored a lot, but I think they're going to talk about that. I think we'll see it.
I kind of hope we see a Zelda collection, not because, first of all, I will buy it because I'm a Zelda fan, but it's not so much that the system needs Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, which is probably what it's going to get. I'm not convinced it needs them. It's just, you did it with Mario, and you have Zelda's just as big as Mario. So you might as well.
Exactly.
I'm going to throw out a prediction that's not related to any of the anniversaries for Nintendo, and that is we'll see WarioWare.
That would be.
I think it's time. I think we're going to see
WarioWare.
Agree.
I think WarioWare on the Switch makes so much sense.
There was apparently a survey sent out by Nintendo of America about pricing, and two of the games mentioned that don't exist are WarioWare and Brain Age, and both of them had prices attached to them. Like, do you consider this an acceptable price? And both were treated as like discount games compared to, some Nintendo's heavier hitters. I would not be surprised if if WarioWare gets released and instead of being a $60 or $70 game, it's like a $50 game.
Brain Age did release on Switch in Japan.
Right, but I mean specifically in North America.
I know. I'm saying that could be an easy one because the game exists.
Yeah, I think, but both of them came up in this survey, and neither one exists for that. It was an NOA survey, right? So the fact that neither of those exists in America means that it's possible that both of those are coming.
WarioWare would be fun. I think we need a big title. Nintendo's not usually gives us something big.
So if they're announcing a new hardware revision, like there's got to be a game for it, right? Like, hey, check out how great this new game looks on the new hardware. Like, what's that going to be?
Well, so it's funny because you think through some Nintendo's franchises, and games that don't show off new hardware well are things that use cell shading as an example. So like that knocks out Fire Emblem, that knocks out Xenoblade, because both of those typically use.
No, it's gonna be something more. It's gonna be like a Mario, something.
Well,
Mario.
no, that but I'm saying I'm saying that like those two franchises use a graphical style that won't
exactly
look more amazing on better hardware, so they're not going to be the big names.
Here's the funny thing. If you had to pick a big Nintendo franchise that probably does look good on new hardware, no, F-Zero's never.
F-Zero.
You're never gonna see F-Zero again. Miyamoto basically said that as much. But
I know, but that is the one that looks the absolute best.
But I'm trying to say
at a high
one that
resolution.
actually, like, forget what we actually will see. Forget what actually makes sense. It's Metroid, right?
Yeah.
Metroid is the one that would look the best on new hardware, which means maybe
still waiting for Metroid 5.
But maybe Metroid Prime 4 will show up somehow.
I don't think so.
Can I say something probably controversial?
Yeah,
I would take a Metroid 5 over Metroid Prime 4 announcement any day of the week.
I'll take either one. I just want more Metroid.
Like Metroid Prime, the series is great and all, but I would much rather a like back to basics 2D Metroid from Nintendo, right? Like they are masters of that genre, and they haven't done it in forever.
Yeah, none of this Mercury Steam crap.
Right.
Make it yourself,
like
Nintendo.
Mercury Steam didn't really understand the vision, I don't think, of Metroid 2, to the point where, like, if you add fast travel to that game, a game about progressing forward into the enemy's lair, I feel like you missed the point.
Well, I think Metroid is going to be a long shot at this thing anyway. I do expect, it's hard to predict, but I do expect a surprise of some sort that we would have thought to see. It's not going to be F-Zero. I'm sorry. Miyamoto basically said something along the lines of, I don't know where you can take this franchise. And that's enough to say that this thing is dead.
Yep.
I think you're going to see surprise something like Pikmin 4. Or something along those lines.
I'd be down for that. Can I add something to our bingo card?
The one that doesn't exist.
I'm going to give us like an impossible square. I'm giving us an impossible square, which is exactly 23 games will be shown.
That's an impossible square because we didn't even hear it.
Conference.
We didn't even hear it, so that's an impossible square for sure.
Exactly 23 games will be shown.
No, you might.
No.
Oh.
Okay, 23 games. There you go.
I gotta tell you,
we got it that time.
I gotta tell you, ABC, I don't think you understand the concept of bingo. You don't want impossible squares. You want to win.
No. I get it, but like I was thinking back on some previous presentations, and they usually get like 12 to 15 big titles that they show off, and then they do a highlight reel of like small stuff. I think 23 is the number.
Okay, we'll see about that.
Move on a bit from Nintendo. We know that when that one's coming, and we know what I think we know what to expect for the most part there, or not what to not expect. But I think we should talk a little bit about Microsoft, because this is an interesting year for Microsoft, as it is the first year that they are going to be doing announcements as the owners of Bethesda.
Yeah.
So we're going to see some stuff there together. So we'll cover Microsoft and Bethesda here together. And I know ABC disagrees with me on this one, but I gotta say, it's not Microsoft since they show Halo. They show Halo even when they don't have any Halo to show. You know, so the fact that Halo Infinite was delayed out of the release window of Series X, delayed into holiday of 2021, and we have not seen it since E3 of last year, around E3 of last year, because there was no E3. We're going to see Halo Infinite.
I gotta agree. Yeah,
sure, fine.
I think we will.
If we don't,
all right,
No, I'm saying if we don't see Halo Infinite, I'd be concerned that it's not going to release this year.
Fair.
I think we're gonna see Elder Scrolls 6, but I think we're gonna see some like, hey, here's what the developers have been working on. Like, let's see this guy's monitor. Like I think it's gonna be that kind of thing. I don't think we're gonna see much.
We know that game's not coming till after Starfield.
Yeah,
and that's why the question is not, are we going to see Elder Scrolls 6? It's, are we going to see Starfield?
Well, I think Starfield, first of all, it's gonna be, you know, they're gonna rebrand and be like, well, or they'll just say like Starfield now exclusive to Xbox.
It won't. No. Nothing is ever exclusive to Xbox. You want a prediction? That will never happen again. Microsoft does not have Xbox exclusives.
What was that?
Microsoft does not have Xbox exclusives anymore. Everything is PC Xbox. So if it's coming,
sorry, but that's what I mean. Like to the Microsoft
brand.
platform.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I just mean exclusive to the Microsoft platforms.
But it generally means it will release on Steam or Epic or something like that as well.
Sure.
It will just it will be on PC. It's more a matter of, will it be on PlayStation?
I don't think so.
I think we're gonna see Starfield. I think it's time we saw Starfield. I don't think it's releasing this year, but I think we're gonna see it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Microsoft is interesting. They don't have a ton of exclusives.
Two games I want to point out. Two games which are Age of Empires 4 and Can you hear me?
It's something about Age of Empires 4. That was the last we got there.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Two games that I saw were rated in Brazil, which usually is a good sign that they're coming soon. Age of Empires 4 and Psychonauts 2. So probably end of year this year, beginning of next year.
And Psychonauts 2 has been previously announced, so we should be seeing that at some point.
Okay.
And Double Fine has talked about it a lot. They've said that it's very far in production.
Mm-hmm. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we got that before the end of the year.
What about the new Perfect Dark game?
I think it's too early. I think it's too early. I don't think we're gonna see much.
I think they'll show something.
I think we're more likely to see what Rare has been working on. There was a new game that they announced in their Xbox thing about last fall, I believe it was, around when the Series X was releasing. I can't remember what it's called. Or Ever something. I think we're gonna see that.
Okay.
I think we're going to see something else from Bethesda besides Starfield. I think they'll talk the traditional Elder Scrolls Online, whatever it is. I think we're going to see. ABC's going to disagree with me again here, but I think it's going to happen. Skyrim is coming to next gen platforms.
You think so? I don't know,
I'm
man.
not arguing that.
It's such an easy cash grab for them. They've done it so many. Skyrim was first released on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's been re-released like a million times. And like I said, I think we're at least 3 years away from the Elder Scrolls 6. So yeah, why not? Easy. So I think I think we see Skyrim.
So I put down in my predictions. I think there's going to be a retro revival of an old Microsoft first-party title, which will launch like end of summer. And my prediction for that is Blinks the Time Sweeper.
Okay.
So random.
Well, I was going to choose a Rareware title, but I feel like a lot of those have gotten their time in the sun recently.
We'll put that on your impossible bingo card.
I don't want to play on his bingo card.
Here's the thing: it's either that or it's like a really high-profile rare title, and I don't think it's a really high-profile rare title.
I mean,
they have too. But every single Microsoft conference for like the last 5 years, they've had a retro revival. At least one per show.
Yeah. We're gonna see a couple other things. I think we're gonna see a Sea of Thieves, something or other, because that game has gotten incredibly popular.
I could see that. Mm-hmm.
They like to push that one. If you really want to talk about revival of an old franchise, the right answer, if they really want to dig into a Rareware past, it's Banjo. Look at what happened with Smash. It was almost like a testing ground.
I know it's not happening. It's not happening.
No, it's not. But if they're going to revive a franchise, that's the
here's why it's not happening. Because none of the because none of the former staff are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I'm not saying that it won't. I didn't say it'd be good.
No, what I'm saying is like, I think even Microsoft is smart enough to look at their teams and say, like, nobody really handles 3D collect.
Oh, losing him again.
Platform.
Yeah, you're freezing up there.
Platformers. In a way,
ABC is now fully patched into the Matrix.
It does sound like that scene where
Banjo too, and we know that the last time we did this, it was not well.
Well, that was entertaining.
Okay.
Fuck.
Okay, yeah, I think we got you now.
Yeah, like, I mean, I think I cut a lot of the gist there. I understand that. I didn't say that they are going to revive Banjo. I said it's the obvious choice of a franchise to do. I'm not saying... I don't know if they necessarily care about handing it off to the right teams or whatever. I got that from you as well. I'm just saying that it's...
But what about
the money's
Dark?
there?
Isn't that already a retro revival that they've got going on?
It's true, and it's not being done by Rareware. Maybe we'll see something interesting come from that. Maybe we'll see that title as well. I'm really more... I think Microsoft's going to lean really heavily on Bethesda. I think that's why I said I think you're going to see a lot of Elder Scrolls content. I wouldn't be surprised if they started showing Fallout 76 stuff. Anything that they can do to say, hey, we've got lots of stuff coming, and it's a Microsoft
and
stuff.
Can you hear me again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Microsoft. They're going to push Series X stuff. They're going to push performance. They're going to push all, Play Anywhere, all that stuff.
What about
they'll have a good show.
What about Game Pass? Like, are we gonna? I think they're really moving towards like, like a services based kind of I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
I get what you're
they're doing. So like, what are we gonna see there? Are they gonna have like some kind of new Game Pass thing on offer, or some crazy new purchase plan for the Xbox Series? Or
you're gonna see they're gonna push the cloud-based stuff a little bit, because that's the newer stuff. It's in beta right now, playing in your browser.
That's right.
I'm on that beta. I've tried it. Honestly, it's not great, but you know, not a lot of cloud gaming is, and you know, there's a lot of room to improve there. I think you're gonna hear that. There's the long-standing rumor that Game Pass is coming to Switch. I'm not sure I buy that, but it's been a long-standing rumor, so maybe we'll see that as well. Maybe we'll see a nice little, you know, bring out Miyamoto onto the stage or something like that. But I doubt that's gonna happen, honestly.
That sounds like some alternate universe stuff.
Miyamoto's been
on Microsoft stage.
He was brought out onto the Apple stage and the Ubisoft stage.
Fair enough.
It's happened. That's why I said that. I remember when he was brought out onto the Apple stage to announce Super Mario Run.
Here's what they're gonna do. Nintendo is making the new Banjo-Kazooie game, and it's gonna be on Game Pass on your Switch. I don't know. I'm just throwing out
worse things have happened.
Wild conjecture.
All right, we got lots of others to cover here. Let's talk Sony. We're talking the big three here. So Sony is not at E3 this year. They weren't at E3 last year, although nobody was at E3 last year. They also weren't, but they were not at E3.
I was.
That's sad. They were not at E3 in 2019, though. They've basically pulled out of E3, decided to go their own route, which is fine because their last E3 show sucked. It was one of the worst shows I'd ever seen. That was when they showcased some great games of that show, but the press conference sucked.
That was 20 minutes of a guy playing a flute, followed by 5 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, they basically only showed 4 games: Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, Last of Us 2, and Death Stranding, I think was the other one they showed. All apparently high-rated games. Yeah, great, but terrible show. But you know, this year Sony's got a lot of hype surrounding the PS5. It is probably the number one console to buy right now. If you can get your hands on it, which is why it's not the number one console right now, because you can't get your hands on it. So they have a lot of games coming out, and a lot of games that have been coming out or that they have announced so far have been PS4 and PS5. So I think Sony needs to really
I think that's going to continue for another year.
But I think they need to stop that. I think we know that there are some that are coming, and that's fine. They need to start pushing some exclusives, giving people a reason to upgrade their consoles. And I think that this is, that E3 after your first one is the good time to start saying, we have these couple games coming. They're not going to be coming until 2022, and then they'll inevitably be delayed. But here they are, and these are PS5 exclusives to build the hype. We know that Horizon Forbidden West is going to be on PS4. We know that God of War Ragnarok, as of today, is going to be on PS4. By the way, am I the only one, when they said this game has been delayed till 2022, I'm the only one sitting here like, this game was coming in 2021? Did they ever announce that? They never announced that.
So I was pretty sure they suggested maybe Q3 2021. But so it's interesting because my prediction, and I'd written down predictions in case I wasn't going to be able to be on with you guys tonight. And what I wrote was, E3 for Sony means a perfect chance, all of which are listed for 2022 and 2020, pretty much their strategy.
But that's what Sony always does. Sony always comes out and says, here are our games, and they're all coming in 3 years.
Yeah.
How many times did we see Spider-Man at E3?
I'm gonna throw out a bold prediction, so throw it on that bad bingo card. What you're gonna see is Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2, timed exclusive PS5, 2022. And they're gonna show a short clip of CG cutscene, no gameplay.
That's actually probably a good prediction. I don't even think that's a bold prediction. I think that's actually a bang-on prediction. I'm upset with the fact that the Final Fantasy VII Remake cycle is going to end up being like 10 years to get the entire story.
Which across multiple hardware versions, which is a little bit crazy.
I am excited to play Integrate, but only because I actually really generally like the remake as it is. Like it's a lot of fun. I just I think you're right. I think we're gonna see remake part two. In some form. I think it's going to be an early announcement. I do think it's going to be 2022, and then it'll be delayed probably until 2023.
And I think specifically the first time we see it is Sony drops information before Square Enix can.
I think that's what happened the last time too, and that's just because of the exclusivity agreement there. There is a lot of rumors. Actually, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Square Enix is an interesting publisher to talk about. But Sony, I'm expecting that we're going. Like my prediction here is we're going to be seeing a lot of new IP, things that we can't predict because we've never heard of them before, and we're going to be seeing that being announced as new titles coming exclusively to PS5 in 2022.
What I'll tell you, what I'd really like to see is I want to see what Bluepoint is working on next after the Demon Souls remake, because they did a fantastic job with that. And what do you think? Would Sony make a Demon Souls 2
Why not
using
remake?
Bluepoint?
I was gonna say why not remake the first Dark Souls, but we did remaster it already. From Software did that themselves.
Because and Sony, the thing is, Sony owns Demon Souls.
Yes.
They don't own Dark Souls, so they could continue that. Like originally, Demon Souls was considered a bit of a flop, but then it was a cult hit, and then Dark Souls came along and solidified that whole genre basically. And so now they've re-released Demon Souls as a hit. So like I'm wondering if they're gonna, maybe Sony is planning a whole revival for that franchise. Maybe they'll make a direct sequel to it. I don't know, or maybe there's been rumors that they're did they acquire Bluepoint? I think there are rumors that they were going to acquire.
I think they
Bluepoint.
acquired
They did.
Bluepoint. I think they did, yeah.
Either way, this is what I would consider to be a bold prediction. I don't see it happening. I actually would think it's more likely that From Software is going to debut Elden Ring at the Sony press conference versus
Now we talked
seeing
about
Demon
this
Souls
in
2.
our predictions. We talked about this in our previous predictions video. We said that game doesn't exist.
No,
No,
you
that's
said
what-
that.
You didn't say that about Elden Ring. You said that about Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I think I said that about a lot of games.
I think we will see Elden Ring. I don't know if it's going to be Sony or Microsoft or what, but it's a Bandai Namco published game. But I think we'll see Elden Ring. I think we're going to see George R.R. Martin talk about the game's story, maybe.
We ask him why he hasn't finished The Winds of Winter.
Too busy doing other things. I don't know. But yeah.
I think we see Spider-Man. I really think we see Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that's probably a safe bet.
I think that they have probably developed a means of creating world geometry really quickly for the games, and since the basic mechanics have been pretty consistent for the last two titles in that series, we'll just see more of the same, which is not a bad thing.
So do you expect a full-blown sequel?
Yes, I think this is time for the full-blown sequel.
I am going to disagree, but only because I think Insomniac is busy.
I don't think it was. What do you think they're busy with?
I think they're busy with Sunset Overdrive. That's my bold prediction.
Well, that's fair. And can we just say that, like, I know it's an old Xbox game, but still, like, the coolest fucking name for a game about something so mundane as mindlessly killing zombies.
I think you're gonna see. This is, you all want to talk bold predictions. This is mine on the bingo card. That's not gonna happen. I think they're gonna be bringing Sunset Overdrive to PS5 and PS4, and I think that we're gonna see a sequel. It's been rumored, and Insomniac themselves, I believe, have said that they want to do it. I think they're gonna take a break from Spider-Man for a couple years.
Okay. I don't know that I agree with that.
I told you it was a bold prediction.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sony already basically
I don't
said
think you're right about that, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think they already pretty much said that we are getting a new Spider-Man game for PS5 at some point. So I think it's pretty reasonable that we might see that.
I think Miles Morales existed to tide people over, and to convince people to upgrade to the PS5.
And I love
it's a showcase.
Morales.
Look at how much better this version is than the other version, and now the new game's coming in a year and a half. So go buy it.
And I will.
I have to buy a PS5 first.
Good luck.
Or do you? Because apparently they were just releasing all PS5 games on PS4 too.
Well, yeah, I haven't bought a PS4 game in a long time.
Because you want to wait until they're on PS5. That's why I said I think you're going to see a lot of announcements, and I think you're going to see a lot of stuff coming in 2022 just so they could highlight PS5.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
I think you got to go to some of the big ones. So we got, the biggest publisher after this is probably EA. And EA is an easy one to talk about. Sports and Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 is all.
I think that's all you see. And I think that between those two things, that's all you see.
There might be some other stuff in there, but I don't think anything worth mentioning.
Are they done making Star Wars games now?
They're not done, but
they are no longer the sole creator with that license. So
yeah,
and we know that Ubisoft is making a Star Wars game.
Here's the thing: is you can be like, oh yeah, we're making a Star Wars game, but if everyone's able to make a Star Wars game and everyone is making a Star Wars game, then it no longer is the come to the EA thing so you can watch like 10 minutes of Jedi Fallen Order, right? Like it's not the same draw as it used to be because it's not
Jedi
exclusive
Fallen
to
Order.
there.
I think we will see a glimpse of the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order.
Perhaps. I think it's possible. Like I said, I think Battlefield 6 is going to be EA's big one. We know it's coming. It's not just a rumor. It's been leaked at this point, I believe. Like it's all but confirmed. We're going to see it in the next week or so.
Yeah.
So I think that's the big stuff from EA. Speaking of, from Activision, we're going to see Call of Duty.
That's the free space on the bingo.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 2021.
Man. Fuck. Fuck Activision Blizzard, am I right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like they absorbed so many good studios and then just like shuffled them over to go work on COD.
I want to talk Activision Blizzard though for a moment because Blizzard has canceled BlizzCon this year.
Yep.
So the question
didn't that already happen?
I mean the next one. The next BlizzCon is not happening. So the question is, are you going to see titles that would have normally showed up at BlizzCon show up at E3 or sometime this summer? I'm thinking Overwatch 2.
Blizzard will announce their stuff separately. Because Blizzard doesn't need a big showcase to draw everyone's attention.
Then what's BlizzCon?
Yeah.
Well, no, but that exists. People go to BlizzCon because Blizzard can say, "Hey, we're announcing everything that day," or those next 3 days. And here's how you tune in online. Here's how you tune in person. And we don't have to do this during E3. And I think that's going to remain. I think they'll just shift everything online.
Yeah. So
to a later date.
Exactly.
I don't think you hear about any of that stuff this upcoming.
I just looked it up real quick, and it sounds like Blizzard has canceled the in-person BlizzCon event, but they also said that they are planning some kind of global press event for early next year. So
yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I don't think you'll see anything Blizzard related until then.
I especially don't think you're going to see Overwatch 2 because they actually just a couple weeks ago did an online presentation of Overwatch 2 and showed some development stuff, and they said that
it's not well received.
Yeah, and
Blizzard never is.
It's they also said it's not coming out for another like 2 years or something. So
okay, fair enough. So we EA, Activision then are really easy to predict. So let's talk Ubisoft. ABC can't talk Ubisoft. Frostbite, let's talk Ubisoft.
I have a.
Wait. Let him finish.
I have a bold prediction for Activision.
Oh.
Can you hear us, ABC?
He'll be back.
He's got a bold prediction for Activision.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait.
I'm losing him.
Wait.
We are waiting. We're waiting so patiently. Oh, damn.
Such a bold prediction.
Yeah,
I can't even say it. Man, I asked you that a while ago.
Can't hear me.
All right, ABC, I think you should drop your prediction for Activision in chat.
Yeah, sure. Let's get
the bold prediction for Activision, if you can hear me, is we're going to get.
Oh, we almost had it.
We'll never know. We'll never know. All right.
Okay.
He has given it to us. His bold prediction for Activision is Tony Hawk. It is Tony Hawk.
Can you hear me? Any chance you can hear me?
It's patchy.
Sometimes.
But Tony Hawk, I mean, they just released Tony Hawk 1 and 2. It's been well received.
Oh man, I'm so sorry guys about my internet.
Tony Hawk's coming to Switch. I think it's possible we see something, but I'm not counting on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's why I said it was a bold prediction.
Yeah, that's true. It was bold. All right, let's talk Ubisoft, because Ubisoft is probably the next biggest on here.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say about Ubisoft, to be honest.
Ubisoft had said that they were shifting. Ubisoft has recently said that they're shifting a lot of their attention to ongoing games as a service or games as platforms, free to play mostly.
Yes.
So I don't even know what to say with that, but like we'll probably see one of their longstanding franchises done up as one of those.
I wonder if that could include For Honor. Maybe they're either working on the next iteration of For Honor, or maybe it's going to go completely free to play.
For Honor's is that an interesting pick, because I'm pretty sure it also just dropped on Game Pass. So I actually was going to mention For Honor as well. You know, I think you're going to see a bunch of that stuff. I think it's the right. I think it's the right call, honestly. But
Assassin's Creed Battle Royale.
How have you guys missed the obvious one?
Okay,
here? No, you both missed the obvious one. We know what we're gonna see. Hey, there's a free Square for Ubisoft. We're gonna see Far Cry 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're seeing Far Cry 6. We're seeing Mario and Rabbids 2.
Ooh, that's an interesting prediction.
Doubt.
Why not? Why not?
Oh, I didn't say they shouldn't. I don't think we will. I think Nintendo is. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna see any significant Mario stuff. I don't think we're gonna see anything. We just came off the Mario 35th anniversary.
I don't think Nintendo shows it off.
I don't think we're gonna see any.
I think they let Ubisoft show it off, and they don't cover it in their own conference. Maybe they cover it in Treehouse, but nothing.
It's
more.
possible, because that's what happened with the first Mario Rabbids, but I think Nintendo is trying to pull back on Mario this year after the 35th anniversary, and I don't think that they want any Mario title to overshadow their other stuff. So I doubt.
I don't think a Mario and Rabbids 2 announced by Ubisoft is going to overshadow Nintendo's other stuff, though.
I think Nintendo thinks
so. You know, you were saying Assassin's Creed.
Oh no.
Yeah. And if we were still like,
nope, not happening.
A few games back, Assassin's Creed.
I think he's talking about
Impossible.
I think you're talking about Assassin's Creed, but I'm not sure.
Not with the current Assassin's Creed.
You know, Okay, so I don't know if he's still trying to talk or not. As far as Ubisoft goes, ABC will have to make that point to us again in a little bit, but I thought for sure this year we were going to see Skull and Bones. I thought for sure.
My internet's
Yes.
still
Hearing you now.
on me.
But as I say, I thought for sure we were going to see Skull and Bones, but then they said that they delayed Skull and Bones again.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see Skull and Bones. I think
not.
I think you're right that ABC's right. It's going to be a lot of these free to play stuff. Maybe we'll see. Are they still supposed to be doing a Prince of Persia remaster?
Oh yeah, that's right. Which they said was delayed for some polish. I think we'll see some of that maybe.
It's hard to really predict what else Ubisoft has. It's hard. I really don't know what to expect from them, but they're usually one of the bigger ones. I guess we'll probably see Just Dance 2022 or 2021 or whatever year Just Dance it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
They usually show Just Dance and they do some goofy presentation with it. Maybe we'll get another Wii release. All right, so yeah, I guess that's Ubisoft. Not a lot of bold predictions there, unfortunately.
I'm just not. Yeah, I do not have. I do not have my finger on the pulse of Ubisoft's release calendar really at all. Like it's most of their stuff I don't care about, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So not a lot to say about it.
All right, let's talk. Let's talk Square Enix briefly. Before I forget. I don't know if Square Enix has anything announced that they're showcasing. They have in the past done press conferences at E3, but we were talking Final Fantasy a little bit, and we know that there's a lot of Final Fantasy spin-off titles coming, a lot of Final Fantasy VII spin-off titles coming. And this could tie into the Sony presentation a little bit as well, are we going to see any more of these Final Fantasy spin-offs? Are we going to see Final Fantasy 16 at all? We know it's in development.
Yeah, I bet we will. Yeah, I don't see why not.
It could show up at the Sony one. It could show up at a Square one. I think if we see 16, it's probably going to show up more likely than not at the Sony press conference. But who knows?
Really? Why not?
Yeah, I feel like. First of all, Caverns, my audio has to be reconnected because you got it ready.
You're good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Square Enix will make their own separate presentation specific for Final Fantasy stuff when they want to show off Final Fantasy. And much like Blizzard, they have the audience that will just show up to that stuff. Case in point, I watched a Dragon Quest thing at 11:30 p.m.
Sure.
And Final Fantasy is very much the same.
Sure, but they have shown Final Fantasy stuff at E3 before.
Yeah, they have. I think it's far more likely that if we see anything from Square Enix that's a JRPG like that, it's what's next for Kingdom Hearts.
Man, I realize I don't care anymore about Kingdom Hearts.
It's not about what we want to see, what we think they'll show.
That's fine.
And I think that it's far more likely that they have an engine that already works for Kingdom Hearts, which means they can have gameplay going. And they'll just more Kingdom Hearts.
And ABC should try a different corner. We got the gist of that, though.
What about have you guys heard about Final Fantasy Origins? This is the new Final Fantasy spin-off game that is being developed by Team Ninja, and it's apparently going to be more Dark Souls-like in gameplay. I'm personally kind of interested to see that.
That sounds interesting, but
that's Final Fantasy Origin, not Origins. Origins was the port of 1 and 2 on PlayStation.
How could I make that mistake? I am so sorry.
That is just like, it's such a Square Enix move. We named a game something we'd already named a game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the patience for another Souls-like game. Every time they always look so good, and they are good, and I pick them up, and then I get like 10 hours in, and I progress like the equivalent of one level after 10 hours and ready to throw my controllers out the window. I am not going to buy a Final Fantasy Souls game. I'm saying it now. I'm not into it. I'm not doing it. I can't put myself through that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might see some gameplay for that though at E3.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised. All right. Anything else about Square?
Tomb Raider.
Maybe we'll
stuff?
see something from Crystal Dynamics.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah, we're on the same page there. I think we'll see Tomb Raider.
I wouldn't be upset about that. I like Tomb Raider.
I'm pretty sure it's a Tomb Raider anniversary this year, isn't it?
Oh. Is it? I'm not sure.
Like, there's a lot of it. This is a weird year. There's a lot of anniversaries this year. I like Tomb Raider. Yeah. I won't be upset.
Tomb Raider, the first one came out in 2001, so it's the 20th anniversary of Tomb Raider. It's the 20th anniversary of Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I could dig it. I would even just dig a port of the last three, like the reboot one. So Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. What was the last one? Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Shadow, yeah.
Just port them all as a trilogy to the next gen consoles. Let's just start there.
I literally think they announced that. I literally think they announced that already.
Well, then
yeah,
clearly
that does sound kind of familiar.
Then clearly, they know what the people want, and by people I mean me.
Tomb Raider Definitive Survival Trilogy. No, that's not it.
But to the next gen?
Is it?
Yeah, it's the one.
Well,
it was. I thought it was a port to PS5.
Oh my god, it's on sale for $20 right now.
Xbox Series XS. Well, that's exactly it. It's they ported them and then chopped the price into a third.
Honestly, I'm not opposed to any more Tomb Raider. Give me more Tomb Raider. I'm all good.
The reboot series is pretty good.
I've only actually played the first one of them, but I've seen a lot of the gameplay of the other ones. They're great. It's funny because they clearly take inspiration from Uncharted, which took inspiration from the original Tomb Raiders. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
The original Tomb Raider's trash.
Well, yeah. He said it's trash.
No, he said it's crash.
It is not good.
He
said trash.
Well, it does that too. It is not a good game. I played it on stream. It is so bad.
It didn't age well.
No.
All right, well, let's move on to who do we got next?
Namco, Bandai Namco.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Elden Ring. I think we will see that because there's been a lot of rumors about it lately.
And there was like a trailer that had dropped, but like leaked online, but it was like a year old.
Yeah,
I think it's time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think we're gonna see Elden Ring, and I think I mean this isn't exactly a hot take, but I think we're gonna see some Tales of Arise gameplay.
Tell me, guys.
Tell you what.
Oh, guys.
All we heard was
again.
Come again.
Muso, like
the Dynasty Warriors.
Oh man, I can't even get through Hyrule Warriors.
Because let me tell you what you're gonna see more of at this showcase.
They're all the same. They're all the same.
Yeah, it's not. They're really.
And you're gonna see more of it. People love those games, and you will continue to see more of them because the last one sold incredibly well. It was the best-selling game in the franchise.
Honestly, I'm not a fan of them, of Dynasty Warriors. Like I've played them before. I have Hyrule Warriors, which is fun, but after about 10 hours of Hyrule Warriors, I'm like, okay, I get it.
It's fun because it's Zelda.
That's it. Yeah.
It gets old because it's Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. It's just after a while, I don't care. I mean, there's not a lot of skill to it. It's basically A, B, 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 roll away, A, B, 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 B. Oh, look, everyone. Yeah. There's just another like 100,000 enemies coming at me. We don't need to say any of that. We will, but we don't need to.
I think, like I said, I was saying before, I think we'll see Tales of Arise. It's the new Tales of RPG.
Yeah.
Probably see some gameplay of that one.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Wouldn't be a surprise. I don't know what else to expect from Bandai Namco, and they've got a few other. I don't really know what they've.
I forgot to say something with regards to Square Enix. That all of those games that we previously didn't have platforms for, if the Switch Pro gets announced, then we will suddenly have platform announcements for all of those games.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's just like if they were waiting on that.
All right, well, let's move on. We got a couple other big ones here to talk. Konami is next on our list here.
Yeah. How do you feel about pachinko games?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I mean, there's been a lot of talk lately about Konami ramping back up on actual game development. So I think we might start to see the fruits of that. At least I'm really hoping that. Been hearing rumors about a possible Metal Gear Solid remake. The first, like from the first Metal Gear Solid.
So you like Castlevania?
Yeah, exactly. I do like Castlevania. Thank you.
So do I, and I would much prefer Castlevania to Metal Gear.
So
hey man, I'll take both.
So here's the funny thing is about Konami. Konami's not going to be at E3. That's 100%. I'm sure we're going to see something of them throughout the summer, but they've already pulled out of E3. So
okay, fair enough.
But at the same time, there's been a lot of rumors ramping up. You mentioned of game development on Konami's side, but we've also specifically, it's Metal Gear and Silent Hill.
I was going to mention that Silent Hill as well.
Specifically, we're hearing a lot of rumors about that. Now, I've never really been a huge fan of either of them. I mean, I understand the hype of things like that Kojima used to do and like how he, the storytelling, all that stuff. But I'm sorry, just give me it's a movie. Like the latest Metal Gears are just like movies, and it's really hard for me to get into those kind of games. So I'm not really hyped about anything. I'm actually not disappointed that Konami's not going to be seen next week. I just don't care. I expect we'll see them sometime this summer, though.
Fair enough. Let's talk Capcom. We already talked about Monster Hunter stuff. They've already shown that, so I'm not sure if we're going to see much more of that.
Yeah.
Mega Man X9.
Really?
Yep.
I don't think so.
What, a year ago was the Mega Man 11, or was that 2 years ago?
Maybe 2, yeah.
So like that game sold very well. The other classic collections that have gone out, the Zero ZX collection sold well. The only other I have 2 predictions for Capcom.
I have one too, but I'll let you do your other.
And it is.
We're not gonna hear it.
Is something Mega Man?
Something Mega Man.
Can't hear me.
All we've heard is Mega Man. We don't know what your other prediction was.
Oh, I said something Mega Man and something Ace Attorney.
Okay, I think that you've still missed the obvious stuff that they're going to talk about. We are going to see Resident Evil 4 remake.
I would love to see that, yeah.
It depends on how far along it is.
Oh, I didn't say it's going to release this year. I said we're going to see it. We're going to get an announcement.
No, what I'm saying is like if it's not far enough along for them to have a really good trailer, we're not going to see it.
No, I think we're going to see it. I think it's far enough. There's been enough weird things dropping about it that I think we're going to see it. I don't know how much we're going to see, but I think we're going to see it. It's possible we'll see some Resident Evil Village DLC as well.
I think we'll probably see RE-Verse, which is the multiplayer Resident Evil game that nobody asked for. The third multiplayer Resident Evil game that nobody asked for.
Right.
But yeah, that I think we'll see some of that as well. what I would really like to see, but I don't think we will, throw this on the Impossible Bingo card, is a Dragon's Dogma sequel. Something Dragon's Dogma.
That's actually
if we don't
rumored.
throw things, throw things on the normal bingo card, everything ends up on the Impossible Bingo card.
I've actually heard some rumors.
And that
about
just
Dragon's
and then
Dogma.
it just becomes.
Yeah.
And if we only have the Impossible Bingo card, then it's just the bingo card.
Also, didn't Dragon's Dogma just get a Netflix show?
Yeah, I think it was kind of had a bit of a lukewarm reception, but it exists.
I mean, here, you want to go bold on us? Street Fighter 6.
Isn't that already confirmed?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Well, then Street Fighter 5 is still the main supported one, and Street Fighter 2, I guess, is still also supported.
Yeah. No, I think it was in that big Capcom leak last year that Street Fighter 6 was mentioned, so that's probably what I'm thinking of. So yeah, I think you were probably right on that. We might see that as well.
Yeah. I would actually get that. I think you're going to see Resident Evil 4 in Street Fighter 6. Those are my bold predictions, if you will.
Okay. Cool.
I
mean, I on the Mega Man front, like, as much of a fan as I am of Mega Man X, I just really like. I think we're done with that. I don't know if we need a Mega Man X9.
He said everything that
I don't
needs to be
think we
said has
do.
been said.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. I don't think any of the Mega Man X games after 4 are good, but I don't think that would stop Capcom from making another one.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong about that either.
Like in the classic series, I only think one game is actually bad, and they kept making those, even after that bad game. So
Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's about all you can expect from Capcom, though. So that brings us to WB Interactive. Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the games that we already know about will get an update on, maybe a release date on.
Yeah.
I don't know how much else we're going to see, though.
I'm not sure we know that they're going to be showcased. I don't think they have a press conference, so I'm guessing that we'll see some of Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. That's about all I can think of.
And what was the other one? The multiplayer
Back for Blood.
No, Arkham. Was it Arkham? The Arkham Knights game.
What about it? I don't think I saw this.
Gotham Knights.
This was Gotham Knights. That's the one. Sorry.
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
Because they announced them both in the same press conference. We haven't seen either of them since.
Right. But we do know that the Suicide Squad is pretty hyped from Rocksteady, and then Back for Blood. WB Interactive.
Back for Blood, yeah.
Because we have seen that already, which is basically just Left 4 Dead 3. So I can't complain about that. I mean, it is actually Left 4 Dead 3. Like, it's the same developers. They just left Valve.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like a good time.
Yeah, so I guess there's not too much to be said
Valve...
there.
Count to 3.
That's right. Valve can't count to 3.
All right, so who we have left?
All right, 2. Okay.
Take-Two Interactive.
I don't have much to say on that, to be honest. I'm not really sure. I feel like it's been a while since we've had anything new from on the Borderlands front, so maybe some new Borderlands content. I don't know if it's going to be Borderlands 3 DLC or what. But see that happening.
Possible. So 2K. It's not 2K, right? It's
Borderlands. We'll see the movie.
What a show.
We'll see the movie.
we had a pic from the set come out the other day, and
we have a silhouette of the Lilith character. Yeah.
Right. So you got to remember, 2K is a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive, who has been confirmed for the show.
Yeah.
And that means that there's a lot of other stuff that we are expected to probably see here. You know, you're right, Borderlands can certainly pop up. There has been a long rumored BioShock 4
Really?
on its way. Yeah. I don't think it's long rumored. I think it's like confirmed, just not been really announced officially. It's not the same developers who made the original 3, which is a bit of a shame. BioShock Infinite is one of my all-time favorite games, but we are expected to see a BioShock 4, and if this might be the time to do it, because Take-Two has said they're going to be at E3. They're going to talk Red Dead Online. They're going to talk GTA Online. They've announced GTA 5's release date on new platforms, so we'll see some of that. We're not going to see GTA 6. It's not happening. I would love for that to happen. I think it's well timed to see GTA 6, but it's not going to happen. Beyond that, just the 2K sports stuff. So, Intoxication says WWE 2K21. We'll probably see NBA 2K21 or 20, whatever it will be. And he's right. We'll never see Bully 2. We will never see Bully 2. I mean, I think that kind of pretty much covers all my thoughts on Take-Two. I'm not sure what else they've got that's really important.
Yeah, I don't know. That's another one that another publisher I'm not that familiar with, I guess.
And as far as I know, that they're not doing a press conference; they're just going to be there. But because this is an interactive online event, we can see a lot of stuff just by browsing our phones. So I'm kind of excited about that. And that brings us to whoever's left. We did lose ABC, I believe. So ABC, if you can still hear us, feel free to pop into chat to give us the rest of your predictions. Basically, it's like things like indie titles and
yeah,
it was Devolver Digital doing something silly kind of thing.
I literally wrote down that same thing. Yeah, I wrote Devolver does something cheeky. That's a prediction that is almost guaranteed. There's been some talk about Bloodstained, the Bloodstained developer,
right?
Possibly working on a sequel. I think we might see something about that, or maybe something Bloodstained related. At least I'd like to see that.
He's kind of back. Pieces of him are back.
Okay. Yeah.
That's good. I was surprised. I didn't expect to hear him again.
Right. So they're probably holding it back to announce during E3 or during something around that time. So I expect we might see something.
I'm waiting to see Silk Song. I think they already said we're not going to see Silk Song, but
yeah.
I think we were told we were not going to see it actually at E3. I think that came out. Yeah, that's where it's gone to the graveyard with Beyond Good and Evil 2.
I would really like to see. I'm really hoping we see Yacht Club Games. They've got 2 new, really interesting looking Shovel Knight games in development. I don't know if they're going to be at E3, but I'm pumped to see more details about that stuff. So,
I mean, and if they're not going to be at E3, we are going to see a lot of these guys over the next few weeks as summer GameFest kicks off too, and we also know that separate from E3, like we do know Devolver Digital is ABCA are just in and out. But we know that Devolver Digital is going to be hosting a presentation, I believe, on June 12th or 13th. I can't quite remember.
Okay.
And I think we know that Limited Run is doing something as well, but limited run is their stuff is kind of dumb. Honestly, it's not really announcing anything. Yeah, and otherwise it's really just you know, what's going to actually happen through Summer Game Fest, and that's a a 2-month event or something like that, right, through the end of August. So there's a lot to be announced, and who knows when and where it's going to pop up.
Yeah, exactly. Just going to be a whirlwind.
And it all kicks off next week. So I guess that leaves us with this last couple questions: is what do you think we might want to see that? A better question: what do we hope that we see? Like, what are the things that we really would like, but don't think is going to happen?
Well, I think I named some of that already. Like, I would love to see Metroid Prime 4, but I don't think we will. I'd love to see Dragon's Dogma. I know there's been some rumors, but I'm not holding my breath. Silent Hill, Metal Gear. Again, Konami said it's not going to be even at E3, so who knows?
But they were going to be. They pulled out, so you might see them this summer.
Yeah. I hope we do see something there. Yeah.
My biggest hope is Breath of the Wild 2. I really want to see Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
The first one was one of the best games I played in years. Like I need a Zelda fix this year that's not Skyward Sword. I mean, I'm gonna play Skyward Sword. I have the game pre-ordered. I have the amiibo pre-ordered. I'm gonna play Skyward Sword, but I want something else. I'll replay Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess. If they release any of these collections on Switch, I'll play them all. But come on, give me Breath of the Wild 2.
Oh yeah, I definitely think they're gonna show that.
I really doubt it. Like, that's the worst part. Is like, I really doubt it, but I hope they do.
Nah, I think it's gonna happen. I think we'll see gameplay.
I'm gonna cross my fingers on that one. Yeah, I mean, it's. I guess what our next step is here is we're gonna be creating our bingo cards for this event, and they're not gonna be ABC's Impossible Bingo card because I play bingo to win. So for those who were joining us when we first started, the Totally Average Gamers, we started this with the Game Awards back in December. I think it was December. Time has kind of melted away to nothing over the past year and a half, but
yeah,
we had our bingo card for the Game Awards, and we didn't do so well.
That's right. We didn't get a single line.
No, not one. So we are hoping to redeem ourselves a little bit here, I think. I for one am.
Oh.
Okay, so what's the free space for E3?
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that we're gonna have that. We're gonna try and cover some of these events over the next few weeks. But if it's like a couple minutes behind us.
It's Todd Howard.
It's Todd Howard's the free space.
Oh boy.
Free space. Free space. ABC will actually be able to talk to us. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna have our bingo cards. We're gonna try and be live with some of these press conferences. It might be a combination of the three of us, but we're gonna try and cover as much as we can right here on this channel. And if you can't watch, join us in Discord. We can follow along with the chats. We'll try and keep up to date with you guys. If you haven't yet joined our Discord, you can absolutely get the link to that in the Twitch chat with ! Discord. We don't have that set up on YouTube if you happen to be watching on YouTube. But you can definitely get that on our Twitch page. The link is there. So, yeah, definitely want you guys to participate in our E3 stuff. If you want to bring your own bingo cards, more than welcome to do so. And yeah, I'm excited.
Should be fun. For it. Be a good time.
And ABC's excited too, but he's 5 minutes behind us, so he can't. He'll tell you he's excited in 5 minutes when the stream is over.
Yeah, exactly.
With that, folks, we will be back. I think we will still probably be back on Wednesday before all this festivities go for kickoff or just a casual gaming night. So more details on that. We'll post on Discord and Twitter. But Bleach, it's not that hard to bingo when you're doing work because you don't have to bingo in real time. You get the spaces even 6 hours later. Make your bingo cards. You can still win. It's not a live bingo game. With that, guys, though, thank you for joining us for our predictions. I really do hope that we're right about some of this. I really don't want to be totally wrong again, but we'll catch you guys next week. ABC will be there, more than just a picture, but it's a lovely picture. I mean, look at this thing right here. With that, folks.
Very, very nice uniform stubble.
We will catch everybody next week. Stay average.